This is TWiT. I guess you could say this is a little bit of a tell. Apple TV executives are meeting with the UK TV ratings body. It's called Barb. So when you see a headline that says Apple's meeting with Barb, it is Streisand. Barb is jointly owned by the broadcasters, including BBC, ITV, Channel 4, and Sky. They provide viewing data. They're basically, it's like meeting with Nielsen. They provide the viewing data for British TV. So the implication is that Apple TV Plus is thinking about advertising.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not to say I told you so, but I wrote a story in April of last year on Macworld about this and said it was as inevitable as a Ted Lasso spinoff. Hasn't happened yet. Gonna happen. It'll happen. You'll see Ted Lasso or other characters from that show again because it's inevitable. And this is inevitable because almost every streaming service has an ad tier. And you ask why, and the answer is money. The answer is you will get people who won't buy your service for X price, but will buy it for a cheaper price because they don't mind about the ads. And then you get to increase your ad revenue. And I'll tell you, almost every one of these services has found that if you make a cheaper version with ads and then put ads in it, the average revenue per user is higher than their premium product. And so you're making more money
interesting.
And expanding your total number of subscribers. And, you know, it varies. Netflix is different from Amazon, but nobody's not doing an ad tier. It gives you the ability to go a little bit cheaper or to raise your premium price and keep the other one there. And they've got a vice president in charge of ad sales. They're putting ads, you know, in all sorts of other things. TV Plus already has ads in all the sports stuff anyway. And so it's inevitable, right? And I don't think Apple's going to do it where they're going to take everybody and throw them on an ad tier. I think it's more likely that they're going to offer a cheaper tier and see if they can use that as another inducement to get people watching Apple TV Plus. Because the big issue with TV Plus at this point isn't even really its quality or its catalog. They're doing pretty well. It's that its overall number of viewers is really low compared to most of the other streamers. So if this is a way to reach more people who are like looking at Apple's selection and going, I don't really want to do that, then, you know, that'll be good for Apple. I won't ever, you know, watch an ad again on purpose if I can avoid it. But there is financial sense for this. And it's just the moment that Netflix said they do it, everybody's going to do it. Disney's doing it. You know, HBO Max, now Max has done it. Amazon did it. Everybody will have an ad tier. You won't be forced onto it, but everybody's going to have one. And that includes Apple.
And I think it's fine. If you're giving a free ad tier that has lots of ad, I mean, free ad tier or a very inexpensive
cheap ad tier, yeah.
As long as there's the one that people have right now, the part that Amazon really, I think, misstepped on is the one that people are already getting. They like every first grader will tell you 100%. You can't change the rules. So the thing is that they by adding this onto it, it just really made everybody upset.
Yeah. Whereas it worked is the problem, Alex. It worked. They got a huge base, and they've made a huge amount of money rolling ads into those places.
I think that sometimes there is a short-term gain and a long-term cost, and maybe Amazon won't pay it. But I can tell you personally, my relationship to how I viewed Amazon changed dramatically for $3 a month. Like, I don't know what it was about that. It's $3 a month. And I was like, screw those guys. Like, and
me too.
And I'm just like, and now I'm like, it's not like I'm not buying anything from Amazon. I'm not like, doing whatever, but it definitely put a huge damper on how I feel about Amazon over $3 a month, and I think that, and it's combined with the fact that, Whole Foods is turning into Trader Joe's, and so, and it just feel like Amazon's manipulating you when you're in Whole Foods now, which is great for farmers markets because that's where I'm going now.
I like Trader Joe's. What are you saying? What are you trying to say there?
It's because they're expensive, Trader Joe's.
No, I just don't want to. I just don't want it all one brand. I go to Whole Foods because it was a collection of brands and it wasn't all one brand that just makes all. Yeah,
but
things.
It was whole paycheck.
It's now all 365. It's all and what they do is they cut the. You can't find the things you're buying all the time, and then suddenly, there's a whole bunch of 365 there, And I've got to the point where I'm so resistant that I won't buy it. Like I'm just like, if it's empty, I'm just like, I'm going to go somewhere else. And so I'm like, I'm not going to be told what to do. And now what I'm doing is I'm buying like 80% of what I eat now at farmers markets because I'm just tired of Whole Foods. And the point is that but I think that it is, again, it's only $3 a month. It shouldn't bother me at all. There's lots of things that go up and down $3 a month in my life. There was just something about it that made me really, it just tweaked me. Like Amazon was like, oh, Amazon's doing pretty good. And then it was just like,
it's funny because I had the opposite.
A lot of brand
reaction.
Damage.
As soon as I saw on the screen, coming soon, ad supported, or you can, we're going to have ads, or you can pay another, whatever it was, $8 a month. Three, is that all? I immediately clicked it.
Yeah.
It was like my knee jerked. It was
what happened is I didn't see it. I clicked it. I saw the ads, suddenly the ads were there. And then there was a whole bunch of WTF, but not shortened. And, just me being mad about why am I getting ads? And then realizing I had to pay $3. And it was just, again, it was just something. I think the problem is that in my head, I'm like, I spend a lot of money with Amazon. I spend a lot of money with Amazon, and I'm just like, it's like thousands of dollars a year with Amazon. I was like, they should, and it's just
spiff me, man.
They're just it's just. So.
This might be more important for Apple than for the other streamers, because I think we were talking the week before about analysts' interpretation of what Apple TV Plus's numbers were. And as Jason said, they are not just behind, they are way behind. It's just miserably behind. And also that their growth rate is slow to non-existent, if I remember correctly. And that means that most of the people that suggests that most of the people that they were going to get, they already got. So they got to find people who are not subscribers and figure out why they're not and how to get them on board. And one of the ways could be just Apple TV is not the hub sort of streaming destination for anybody for any purposes. Like for me, Max is my hub.
It's an extra.
It's where exactly. You have your hub, and then you have other services you add to because maybe you like the show or something like that. To get more people to say maybe I can have Netflix and Apple TV. Like they're also packaging things that show you that it's not a destination. It's a nice add-on.
I think the hard part is that my hub is YouTube. So I'm going to YouTube all the time to watch stuff, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I'll watch
something
longer.
But you pay for YouTube Premium.
Happily.
Yeah, of course.
Happily. Yeah. That's the best. The last subscription I'll give up is YouTube. I did a poll on an unscientific poll on Twitter of if you only got to have one service for the next 10 years, which one would you choose? And YouTube was by far
but also doesn't that have to do more with the kind of content you like? Because YouTube, you're never going to see a Succession on YouTube or a Game of Thrones on YouTube.
Yeah, I just think, but the thing is that there's so much. I watch incredible videos about something really obscure.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You like that kind of documentary how-to video. Yeah, but I don't want to watch that all day. I want to watch.
I also like to watch TV. What is a daily dose of internet? There's a lot of silly stuff on there as well. And that's
narrow
trivia stuff. I don't want to watch that.
The thing, the thing is YouTube has the stuff that you will not be able to find anywhere else. If you like Game of Thrones, maybe you can find something that scratches that itch in the same way. However,
you think? Really?
Well, the problem is not the brand name, but saying I want something
that's similar.
Epic drama, multi-season, multi-series with lots of great effects and lots of spectacle
on YouTube
versus. Oh no, I'm saying if what I'm saying is that what YouTube delivers is there is a creator who just hand sews historical garments. Okay. And she is an anesthesiologist. Okay. Her name is Sosteen. Okay. But she makes these amazing reproductions of 18th century, 19th century gowns. Okay. That is not something that's going to wind up on the Discovery Channel or on, where she just makes these things and you watch her making them and watch her going to places with them. And it's amazing. It's the kind of narrow casting things you could only get there. Whereas, I was able to hop from Netflix to Max because I felt as though everything that was really good on Netflix I'd already seen, whereas I hadn't really started to plumb the depths of Max yet. YouTube is the one that I would never leave because there's nothing similar in content to that. What I was getting at before is that if you can't get Game of Thrones, you can say, well, are you interested in Game of Thrones because you like epic storytelling on a multi-season level where the episodes cost tens of millions of dollars and have huge spectacle, huge effects, ongoing like intrigue, written on a very, very huge canvas. Okay, well, there are Star Wars series on Disney that are that might be able to scratch that itch for you. Whereas there is no other channel that is a go-to place for. Well, and I think channels like Techmoan, where here is a karaoke machine for in-car use made in Japan in 1978. I fixed it, and now here's how the cartridges work. I mean, that's not something you can get anywhere else.
But the risk is so much lower for YouTube because they're not making the content. And the thing is that, and that's the hard part that all these streamers are going to have, is that, Game of Thrones is a good example. It was a great first 4 seasons and slowly got worse until it's so bad that I would never go back and start watching it again, because I'm so angry about how it ended, it was just I felt like I just got, taken for a ride for the last 4 seasons, just that you just kept on thinking there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and it turned out to be a train going the other way, so I think that's the challenge with a lot of the larger narrative is that you put a bunch of money into it, and then a lot of them are hit and miss, and I think that's really hard for streamers to compete with when more and more of the next generation is just watching YouTube. I mean, my kids, my watching habit is probably 80% YouTube, but my kids are 95%. And I have a hard time. Like, I look at movies and I'm like, wow, that's a big commitment for one night. Like, I don't know. It's very hard to get me to watch a whole movie, like whole 2 hours.